All right, you guys. Good morning. I had a 5-minute countdown there, but I cut it short so I can get to you guys more closer to the 9:20. So hope everybody's having a good Wednesday morning. I get the feeling that not everybody is having a good Wednesday morning, at least not in Detroit. And so that's what I'm here to help with. Now, full disclosure, I'm 53, and when I was say 25, 27, 29, the trade deadline day in every sport, particularly for the Lions, was one of the biggest days of the year for me. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What big name? What big name? Oh my gosh. Before social media and all of that, obviously I'm old. You're checking ESPN. What's going on? Oh man, oh man. What are we going to do? This is going to mean everything. If we get this guy, if we get that guy, oh man, we're going to be Super Bowl champs. We're going to be NBA champs, whatever the sport was. Well, over time, as I got older and you get a little bit wiser, and then you start to own and run and manage businesses, and you understand fiscal responsibility, and you understand culture, and you understand team, and you understand how to put all the parts together. My position, my thought process, it evolved over time. Then I got frustrated again as the Lions continued to be so bad, so bad, so bad. And then I just was like checked out. I was checked out before Stafford got traded, and the Patricia and Quinn deal. It's like, my gosh, at some point, you just got to stop the torture, right? My entire life. And then you bring in the Holmes and the Campbell era, and then you start to see, okay, we have something that's very, very serious. So I have some questions for you fans out there today. And I see, welcome to the show. Those of you that are joining, I anticipate many more will join, and then people will see this on replay. So here's my question for you. And I wonder what the age is of all of these people freaking out. Are they younger like I described when I was, and I was so anxious? Like, do you understand where the Lions are and what they are actually doing? Do you understand what their roster actually consists of and how good of a roster they have and how expensive that is in order to maintain and keep those parts both now and in the future? And so far, they haven't lost any of the players due to financial restraints. So Goff and St. Brown, Jameson Williams, you have Gibbs coming up, you have Laporta coming up. Obviously, Hutchinson you took care of, and there are other guys coming up. Folks, you build a team through the draft. You don't go make reckless decisions at the waiver wire deadline. And I understand what some of you are thinking. So give me a second. Please hear me out here. Let me ask you this. Quinnen Williams, if he was on the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night, would it have made a difference against the Arizona Cardinals? Go ahead. Comment. The answer, let me help you, is absolutely a resounding no. Their other acquisition, would it have changed anything? No. Why? Why is that? It's culture. It's a bunch of people put together. It's Jerry Jones being delusional, old, and desperate. He thinks by throwing some players in the mix here at 3 and 5 or whatever they are, that suddenly it's going to just magically be this potion and it's going to work. And suddenly they're going to make this incredible run and they're going to the NFC Championship. I literally think that's how delusional he is. And you give up tons of picks. You just because you acquire somebody, Campbell says it, Holmes says it. Right guy, right fit, right price. And that's how you run a business. You cannot just, again, recklessly, aimlessly, without a plan, throw money around. It just simply doesn't work that way, guys and girls. It just doesn't. Let me touch on Sauce Gardner here for a second, and I can't wait. I haven't talked to him, but I can't wait to get my co-host Luke's thoughts on this because he played against Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's career to date, up until this past weekend, 55 games, 3 interceptions, 46 passes defended, 1 sack, and at the time he re-upped on his contract was 4 years, $120.4 million which made him the highest paid player at his position in history. Is Sauce Gardner worth 2 first-round picks in Adonai Mitchell? Does it make sense for the Colts to go get him right now? Are the Colts that close? Are they Sauce Gardner away? Come on. Now, if you follow football and you follow the Colts, everybody knows offensively they're playing very well, and they have deficiencies on defense. So I understand the attempt to go make your defense better. At what cost did you do it? Is this a guarantee? What exactly did you expect the Lions to do? Did you expect them to call and see if Laramie Tunsil, if suddenly that, they'd like to trade him? Any of the other left tackles or guards or right tackles? Not right tackle because of Sewell, but you get my point, because we're banged up. You're looking to replace Mahogany. You're looking to replace maybe Decker. You're looking for depth. All right. So a depth pick, if you make it known you're looking, the other team has got a great chance at leverage to take something you have of value to give you something that you don't know necessarily will fit. You don't know necessarily if it's better than Skipper or Colin or Awasika or the waiver wire coming up or potentially somebody on your practice squad. They don't know your system. They have to come in and learn. It's week 10 coming up. Like, what am I missing here? Literally, what am I missing here? You have an insanely good roster, and I think you could make the argument a great roster. Do you have deficiencies? Do you have holes? Yes. Is most all of that on the defense? Yes. Are you suspect? Like I was on the Jason Whitlock show Monday, I think it was, with the great Steve Kim. And we talked about, do you have more faith in the Colts or the Lions? Well, I tried to remove my bias being from Detroit, right? And I got my Lions gear on, and you see stuff behind me here. And I have a different screen set up. You can't see the football in the hat. Obviously, I'm a Lions fan. But truthfully, I believe in the Lions more than I believe in the Colts. Why is that? Continuity, players together, a better overall roster, a more tested and true coaching staff. I like where we're at. Somebody put this out this morning or yesterday. The Lions made no moves. They're about to become Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Come on, man. This is year 5 of these two guys. Please, I am of the opinion that a lot of you out there are thinking there are no more 5-year plans. Technically speaking, you could look at the Colts right now and what they're doing as a good example. You could look at how McVay rejiggered and Les Snead rejiggered the Rams to make them very competitive again. And what are they? They're 7-2 also, I believe. There's something to remember here, and I think we are already spoiled. We forget and we forgot where the Lions were 5 years ago. That's not a 3-year rebuild. That's not a 3-year rebuild. That takes a full 5. And at the 3-year mark, you were in the NFC Championship? Guys, I am as impatient of a person as you will ever find. I have been so impatient, so broken stuff, so freaking lost years off my life and added gray hair to my head about the freaking Detroit Lions. Trust me, I live in Florida now. I'm Detroit through and through forever. That will never change. I'm not Dolphins, Jags, Bucks. Though I like what the Bucks are doing, they're never going to be first on my list. The Lions will always be first on my list. But again, what did you guys expect? What did you expect? And what guarantee is there? Somebody said last night, I don't know if it was Mark Schlereth. I don't want to misquote. I can't recall exactly who it was, but said that half of the first-round picks are a bust. Guess what? Half the first-round picks are a bust to those who don't know how to draft. You cannot put, or you don't put, formerly Ozzie Newsome of the Ravens in that class. You don't put Les Snead in that class. You don't put John Schneider from Seattle in that class. You definitely don't put Brad Holmes in the class. These guys hit, and they hit, and they hit, and it's 3, 4, 5 guys. Even the Cleveland Browns got 4 to 5 right this past season. If you have the proper organization, if you have the proper plan, if you have the proper people to execute said plan, not 50% of your picks are going to be busts. In fact, the good organizations are the ones that find Puka Nacua, Les Snead, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brad Holmes. This is how you build a team. This is how you grow a team. This is ultimately how you build a championship team in the short run. Again, I've said it a million times on videos, and here I go again. Stop with the windows. This is not a window. When you are a great organization and you are well run from top to bottom, it is not a window. Ever. You're always close. This burns me inside over and over and over. I have the Lions projected from 5 years ago. Those of you that follow me know it's all over my platform that the Lions would be in a Super Bowl within 5 years. This is the 5th year. They're right there, guys. Now you're going to say, oh, Seattle, my gosh, they got much better. And I'm not talking conference here. Denver, oh my gosh, they got so much better. Oh, Indianapolis got so much better. They're just now where we are at. What is to make you think that any one of those teams is going to go produce and be lights out the rest of the year and then go do it in the playoffs? There is no guarantee of that. And injuries happen, as we know better than anybody. You know, I'm on a Whitlock show the other day with Steve Kim, who's just a human encyclopedia, and he says, "Man, I got Indianapolis. You know, I basically have them at 13 wins now." Seriously? You're so confident of that? Steve, I love you, but we can't just throw out 13 wins of 17, call them 13-4 when they haven't really experienced anything significant. Their schedule against who they've beaten is not impressive. The bulk of the better teams that they are scheduled to play are coming up. Injuries and attrition will happen. How do you overcome that is all, TBD. That's all yet to be determined. Somebody said yesterday, Rashid Shaheed going to Seattle. Oh my God, that just puts them over the top. Come on, man. Does it make them a little bit better? Yes. Were they going to be okay without him? Yes. I mean, it's subjective, and yet it's all relative. That probably doesn't sound like it makes sense. But again, what DJ Reed is going to come back to the team here something like in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's like you acquired a free agent. Kirby Joseph should be back. That's like you acquired a free agent. You guys got to understand what they already know. They're on the inside. We're on the outside trying to peek in the window and see what they got going. And you ultimately have faith in your guys, and you ultimately have faith in your ability to develop other guys. And it's not over. There's still waiver wire moves, guys. There's still development, and there's still guys that could present themselves as better than maybe you thought. Do I want Trey Hendrickson on the Lions? The answer is yes. I would love to have him opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Is he markedly better for the price than Quadin Muhammad? Is that the financially responsible thing to do, to go ahead? They were asking a 1. Let's even say it was a 2. 2 and a player, or just a 1 by itself. Is that the prudent thing to do? Is that the right thing to do for 9 games? You really got to think about that. How much better is he than Quadin Muhammad, who's in your system, who knows what you're doing, who's pennies by comparison? What's the more responsible thing to do? Quadin Muhammad doesn't move anybody's holy shit meter. Trey Hendrickson does, and people say I look like Trey Hendrickson, for crying out loud. Okay? He's 31 or whatever he is. Based on past production, based on brand and name recognition, yeah, he's the guy. Myles Garrett. Would Myles Garrett have been a good decision, before the season at $40 million? You can have $40 million on one end and $45 million on the other end. It doesn't work. Cincinnati Bengals, anybody? $126 million committed to 3 players, and one is essentially out for all or most of the season. And you're losing 48-42 without him. So what did you really do? What did you really accomplish? Cowboy fans, how you feeling today? Oh, we got Kenny Clark. And is somebody, here we go. Somebody said this. When we play Dallas, who's going to block Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark? Air? That's what was said. So we're scared of the Dallas Cowboys because they have 2 big fellas, and they're both very good. In the middle, that means we can't beat Dallas. And how many weeks is that? I don't even have it in front of me. It's more than 3. More than 3 for us to get things figured out and such. You want the Lions to be irresponsible? You want the Lions to lose Laporta and Gibbs? Because then what would you say? Oh, we got Trey Hendrickson. Oh, we got, and again, I'm just throwing Laramie Tunsil out. It was never talked about. It's just the name I'm throwing out as a big-time name and a very good player that costs a lot of money. Let's go get Laramie Tunsil, but then you can't sign this guy and that guy. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back, or he's a top 3 running back in the league. Oh, and Sam Laporta, he's Travis Kelce-like. We can't do that. He's Jimmy Graham-like. We can't do that. You guys want both, it sounds like. You want the cake, you want the icing, and you want the cherry on the top. Well, no shit. But there's a process by which you go about that, and it must be responsible. There goes Brad Holmes again. I mean, I'm seeing it all over social. There goes Brad Holmes again. He's a good drafter, but boy, oh boy, he doesn't do anything at free agency. Again, what should have Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell done yesterday that would move the needle in any kind of way? It wasn't going to be like a starter, maybe a depth guy. But again, you're going to bring in a depth guy. Those are just hanging around. Those guys are just sitting out there, right? For the right price, the right person, the right fit, the right money. That's just sitting down the street in from Allen Park, from the facility. And let's just go pluck that guy because those exist. They're readily available and nobody else needs them. This is convoluted stuff. I put something up, a totally different sport, but I put something up on X this morning about Sam Presti, who's arguably the best general manager, OKC Thunder, in all of sports. He's for sure top 5 in all of sports. Go to my profile or to my feed at PB Sports Talks on X and look at how they are loaded with picks. They are the only team in the NBA that is undefeated. They don't even have their MVP from last year. He hasn't played one game, MVP of the finals. He hasn't even played one game, or Shea was, I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. But Jalen Williams hasn't played one game. And they're undefeated. And they got picks upon picks upon picks to further build their team through the draft, or they have so many of them, they're trade chips. They're assets that they can utilize. So they built through the draft, not free agency. I don't even think they have I don't think they have one free agent on their roster. Not of their core group for sure. They don't build it that way. And that's a small market team. And now they have 3 of those guys maxed out. I still don't understand how they did that on the salary cap with Holmgren and Williams and Shea. I don't know how they did that. I'd have to dig into that more. But guys, think about the roster. Any one of these teams would take the volume of players that we have. So let's look at the offense. There's 5 core key players, 6 that everybody would take today. So if you want to stay at that level, you have to pay those people, or you have to selectively say no thank you and move on. And LaPorta might end up being that guy, because you're not going to do it with Gibbs. Yeah, obviously you're not doing it with Sewell. You're not doing it with St. Brown. You're not doing it with Goff. Who are you doing it with? There's only so much to go around. Even though it increases the cap a little bit every year, you still have to be responsible to it. There is such a thing as dead money. There is such a thing as available cap space, which when you look at them compared to all the other teams, they are in a very good position. Are they cheap? Because that's going to be the next thing I hear. Oh, they're being cheap, like Mike Brown of Cincinnati until just recently. He's always been viewed as cheap. Hell, his Ring of Honor people, Boomer Esiason and others, he made them pay for either their own airfare and hotel or both to come in for a ceremony. That's not the Lions, guys. And this ain't William Clay Ford anymore. Sorry, no disrespect to the Ford family. It's just not. They are set up to succeed for years and years and years. And if you don't think that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and Chris Spielman and everybody else, Calvin Shepard, if you want to go coordinator levels, and everybody else, even at the high ends, if you don't think that that's not burning them and that they want to be in a Super Bowl and that they will not do every single possible thing within reason to help that team get there and win one, you're nuts. Now, the Pittsburgh Steeler analogy, I have to give credit in that I think the Rooney family is more, because maybe because they have won so many Super Bowls, it's kind of apples and oranges, where you have the Lions, who are in the modern era, in the Super Bowl era, have never been to or won a Super Bowl. So it's like how the Cubs were, how the Red Wings were in hockey. If you hadn't been there in decades and decades, or you've never been there, it's different than a team that's got 5 or 6. So maybe that's what it is. So the Rooney family is character. It is loyalty. It is 3 coaches in 60 years, or whatever the hell it is, 50 years. And they don't believe in changing it up. So Mike Tomlin's 18 years or 17th or 18th year, and let's just keep on going. I don't believe that's the Lions, guys. There's too much desire to get there and win for the first time. It's again, this is on my feed too. If ever you need to hear or to see how Brad Holmes feels about his job and the awesome responsibility that he had to come into Detroit and change this thing on a dime and get you to competitive, 3-13 to 9-7 to the NFC Championship, to the best record in football the next year, and we are where we are right now. Do we want more? Yeah, that's society, right? That's life. What have you done for me lately? Oh, you suck. Oh, you need to be fired. Oh, throw them out with yesterday's garbage. Guys, that's not it. It's just not it. This is the Lions we're talking about. Historically doing things upside down, backwards, sideways, whatever you want to say. That's not what's happening. That's not what happened yesterday. Again, this is an evolution of it. For those who are just popping in, I opened the show by saying, I used to be that guy. Flashy, sexy name. Who we got? Who do we get? Oh, man, look at us now. It doesn't, most of the time, it doesn't work. How do you think John Elway felt for 15 years? Come on. Aaron Rodgers, the great Aaron Rodgers, has won one Super Bowl. Throwing, for lack of a better word, stuff on a wall and hoping it sticks and hoping it produces victories, and doing so irresponsibly by destroying the wall and ripping off the paint, putting holes everywhere, and it doesn't work. What do you have? Clean up on aisle 3, 5, 7, and 9. Is that what you want the Lions to be? You know, the Jeff Riegers of the world. I keep going back to Jeff because the dude's been an emotional roller coaster for the last 30 years that I've listened to him and followed him. There's a age-old argument, and one I used to partake in. if you're there, so the Rams are a good example. The Rams went for broke when they acquired Stafford. And by the way, and I said this on Jason Whitlock's show on Monday when the MVP conversation came up, those of you that follow me and know me know I'm not a Stafford guy. I never liked him with the Lions. I always thought that he was underperformed and made most of what he did in garbage time and prevent defense and stuff. 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the MVP conversation at 37. Shout out to Matthew Stafford playing his ass off. Dude's body's a wreck. Sean McVay really unlocked that guy, got him to where he should have always been. Some of that goes back to the Lions coaching and what the coordinator, change a coach, coordinator like every other year, which, by the way, that's part of this too. You want your coach to change every other year? Go ahead and go build your team through free agency. Watch what happens. But to my point is they acquired Stafford to they felt, get over the hump. Aaron Donald there, right? They did some things, and they got it. And then it was McVay was considering stepping away, and Stafford was considering retiring. Okay, here we go again with Les Snead, drafting properly. They're already competitive. You change a piece here, you change a piece here, but you're good through the draft with guys like Nacua and Kyren Williams, and defensively a couple studs. And it's like, all right, Stafford, let's run it back. Sean McVay, let's run it back. And now they're in the conversation again to make a deep run. So shout out to Matthew Stafford. 21-2 is no joke. That isn't against prevent defenses. I tried to, you don't have a lot of time on Whitlock's show to go through it like I do now, but so much of his stats is pad work for so many years and 50,000 yards, whatever. Like 70% of that was garbage coming from 21, 28 behind when defenses just laid back and give you everything in front of them. So, but real shout out to McVay and real shout out to Stafford. That is some serious stuff they're doing. But when you're right there and you won a Super Bowl, do you want the Super Bowl and chuck it to then go through some rebuild period? There's a lot of people that feel that way, that's the ultimate. Win it at all costs, even if it means the whole thing tears down and you go back into chase mode for 5-6 years. Is that what you want? And please comment. Is that what you want? Do you want the Lions to have gone in all in yesterday? Did you want them to go get Sauce Gardner? Did you want them to go get Quinnen Williams? Who else? Did you want them to go get Shaheed? Did you want that? Does that make the difference? Does that make you happy? Did you want them to go in? And if you don't think that they were making calls, even on guys that maybe we didn't hear about, I believe they're due diligence guys. And I believe they went and uncovered some stones or moved some boulders to see what might be underneath it, to see what might make sense, to see how they get better. Great organizations every moment of every day, of every week, of every month, of every quarter, and of every year are working to get better. Because every day we either get better or we get worse. We never stay the same. Folks, I promise you, the Lions are not staying the same, and they're not getting worse. They're working their ass off to get better. It's just maybe not in the exact way that you think it should be done or want it to be done. And I'm here to tell you that the way they're doing it is right. Now, if we go 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, I mean, again, this is me taking into the context, having proper context and perspective that of this 5-year plan, the first 2 years of them was not normal because you had such a defunct stench of a culture and of a way of doing things that you had to come in and literally break down, like literally, I'm not saying they broke down walls. I'm just, metaphorically saying bust down walls and break down barriers and just rebuild everything, like literally everything. Thought process, mindset, culture, coaches, talent. And then you got to a point where you're developing coordinators so well that everybody else wants them. When's the last time that happened? When's the last time that happened, Detroit fans? If you go back as far as I do, it was a cemetery for coaches. Come to Detroit and coach, and you're guaranteed never to be a head coach. You're guaranteed never to be a head coach again. I'm not lying. And if you were a coordinator, good luck. Good luck being a coordinator. If you were a player, Kenny Golladay, I mean, it didn't work. It doesn't work. Now it's working. Now you have the formula, and tweak here and tweak there. I guess some of it's human nature. And when you're so down and out for so long and you want something so bad that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And some people do that out in life, and they do that illegally, right? Because they just so badly want to get it that they'll do it at any cost, at any means, regardless of the law. So in the law of football, in the law of the salary cap era, in the law of culture, in the law of looking at things big picture, not micro in the moment. Let's look out not just for this year, we're thinking about next year because we have obligations that we need to take care of. And if we go and we act haphazardly, we're going to screw up the core. How many teams can build a core like the Lions have and maintain it? You rarely see it. It is not often seen anymore, particularly in this, movement society. The grass is greener to people is way more green than people have ever thought it has been. Whether it's money, whether it's fame, whether it's ego, whether it's status, whether it's a big market like a New York, whatever. It's hard to keep a core group together today. It's not even designed to do that. I think the Lions are doing everything they can to do that. Now, you're not keeping a core together for just core's sake. When we talk about, again, this is offensively, and it's partially defense, Eli McNeil is in that conversation, and Hutchinson obviously on the line. And you've invested picks on the D line, you've invested picks on the back end, and you sprinkled in a little bit of a free agent there. Look at the Lions offensively for a moment. Goff was somebody else's material that you got, but you drafted St. Brown, you drafted Williams, Khalif Raymond was somebody else's. You drafted Tesla. Derek Montgomery was somebody else's. You drafted Gibbs. You drafted Sewell. Not this administration, but you drafted Decker. You drafted Glasgow. You drafted Ragnow, who retired. This is rare, folks. Go ahead and look at the Dallas Cowboys and tell me how many of those players are drafted. What a disaster. That is a freaking disaster that's going to blow up in their face. That's a group of guys that do not know how to play together. There is no chemistry. There is no culture. There is no perspective on what it actually takes to win. And I think we've seen that play through with them, and we're going to see that play through. And guess what else? Here's something really important, and I bang on this all the time about him and about the Cowboys. Their coach should not have the word head in front of it. Brian Schottenheimer is not an NFL head coach. I hope everybody's listening. I'm not usually wrong on these things. He is a coordinator at best. He is in way over his head. Way over. And it's showing. You got, and make no mistake about it, Dak Prescott is a lot to handle. CeeDee Lamb is a lot to handle. We sure as heck know George Pickens is a lot to handle. And Diggs. And you can go on and on. These personalities, when we talk about the Lions, the right guy, the right fit, the right money. What do the Dallas Cowboys have? They have a bunch of parts. Okay, let's go bring in a first-time head coach to manage all those parts with an owner who just said in the last few days that he's really paying attention to his $100 billion oil business. Hello. That's what you want, Detroit? Is that what you want? Because I've been reading about it and I've been seeing posts for the past, 36 to 48 hours. You want them to just go wing it and fling it. And then all of a sudden on Sundays, or Mondays, whatever the day, they're just going to be better. I don't want that. I want to win as bad as all of you. I want to have Super Bowl memorabilia behind me. I want to be the fan, 53 and a half years old, my lifetime team. I want to know not only that we've been to a Super Bowl, but that we've won a Super Bowl. Like, how does that feel? After 41 years with the Red Wings, how did that feel? I mean, I went downtown that night. I was at Rogers Roost for you. If anybody here is watching, I was at Rogers Roost, and then we went downtown. And I got the freaking chills right now, because when you invest emotionally as a fanatic, fan is short for fanatic. I want that. And when it happens with the Lions, and it's going to happen, I promise you it's going to happen. For most of us in our lifetimes, it's going to happen. And when it does, Hockey Town, it isn't Hockey Town, it's Football Town. And there will never be anything like the Lions winning a Super Bowl. Nothing like it for a Detroit fan of any sport. And then we're already all addicted to football. Every one of us is addicted to football. I mean, I'm speaking to a lot of people here through a rebroadcast and replay and such. I mean, there are some people that, hey, basketball's their thing and baseball is America's pastime. No, it's not. Football is king in the United States, period. And Lions fans, this will resonate more than ever, and it will become addicting more than ever. Remember how it was addicting for the Wings? And 97, 98, 02, and 08? Remember that? And now everybody's been hell-bent for the last however many years that they haven't won, and all up on Yzerman, because what are we doing here? Watch what happens when the Lions get there, and if they get there this year and they don't win, or if they get there this year and do win, either way, it's sign me up for 1 more, 5 more, 3 more, 5 more, 7 more. Like, it needs to be the regular thing. If you want this to be the regular thing, you don't go draft free, or you don't go select free agents. You build it through a draft. If you want to be in the conversation every year and you want to be in the conversation long term, that's what you do. Go back to the Rams for a moment. They do have one. Credit to them. They got one. And Stafford, they don't do it with anybody else. I have to say it. I'm man enough to say it and own it. As much as I freaking trashed that guy for so many years, they don't win it without him. And now they have a legit chance to do it again with him. Now, they have a lot of very good parts around, and I've debated this. You could say they got either the best or top 3 wide receiver in football, and a brilliant head coach. They've got the pieces. They have the pieces. They have the experience. They have the gunslinger. I mean, I'm literally, I can't even believe I just said that. Matthew Stafford, the gunslinger. Man, I'm going to catch some heat about that. But do you want that, or do you want a 10-year run? Because it's not a 10-year run for them. Do you want a 10, 12, 15-year run? That's what we're looking at here, folks. And it again is not a window. Windows are for teams like the Dallas Cowboys who like to just throw stuff. The Dallas Cowboys had a window 92, 93, 95. Where they been since then? Anybody seen or heard of the Dallas Cowboys since 95? Arguably the most embarrassing franchise of the past 31 years? That what you want? 31 years. They've been a disaster zone. A disaster zone. This coach, Chan Gailey, Bill Parcells, Jason Garrett, Barry Switzer. I mean, he got a Super Bowl ultimately. Brian Schottenheimer, Mike McCarthy. That what you want? Because what I'm hearing, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You have the core. Keep your core. Build around your core. Continue to draft, because ultimately, when you draft that well and guys are that good, you cannot keep them all. It's not even a question. It becomes a new decision. We are so good. Who do we actually sign one over another? Who do we feel we can afford to lose more? This guy or this guy, or this position or that position? That's what we're dealing with right now, folks. And I don't know if it's people are got spoiled or it's just so badly you want to win that you're ignoring what it actually takes to win and to continue to win. We do not want to win one and disappear. We don't. I don't. Do you? I don't think you do. You want this to last. A friend of mine, Todd, said, this team better dominate for the next 12 to 15 years or something like that. He said this last year. And I agree with him. But he also said, I expect this and this over the next 12 to 15 years. And I do too. We're in year 5 of a rebuild is not a big enough word. Is it? And neither is a dumpster fire. That's not even a big enough word as to what this was. It's like the Jets right now. Although the Jets had better pieces that Aaron Glenn took over, some better parts there than when Campbell, it was just basically almost nothing. And by the way, all the heat that Aaron Glenn has taken, y'all are going to look like fools because Aaron Glenn is going to do the same identical thing that Dan Campbell has done. And Jets fans, if I'm you right now, I am throwing a party because what you did yesterday was unbelievable. You are setting yourself up for the future. You probably should have traded Garrett Wilson too. Breece Hall, maybe you wanted a little bit too much. I would have tried to get rid of each of those, including who you got rid of. Because those players are not helping you in this year, next year, 2 years, 3 years. You're so far away, and you don't have a quarterback, and they know they don't have a quarterback. They're talking to the world, and they're backing their quarterback, but Aaron Glenn is not a dumb man. Woody Johnson is not a football man. That man has no idea what he's doing. But it seems like GM level and coach level, they finally have it figured out. And the GM and the coach, just like Holmes and Campbell, are so in tune that they're going to listen to Aaron Glenn and they're going to put players in there that are the right guy, the right fit at the right price. So brilliant by them. Could you say that Indianapolis overpaid? Yes. Could you say that Sauce Gardner's not worth that, what they gave up? Yes. Can you say that Sauce Gardner is it not a guarantee to get them to ultimately where they want to go now or even next year? Yeah, you can say that. Does he make them better right now than what they had, like as in this upcoming week's game? Yes. But at what cost, at what detriment, at what price to your future? You cannot just look at now. You don't make a decision for the next 5 years on November 4th. Yesterday. Unless you were a poorly run franchise. Good luck with that. We've seen it, Detroit fans. We've seen it. The Bears are seeing it. The Browns are seeing it. The Jaguars have seen it forever. How's that working out? You want on, and this goes back to the topic on Jason Whitlock's show on Monday. Do you have more faith in the Colts or do you have more faith in the Lions? I think it's a great question. One's in the AFC, one's in the NFC. They're on two slightly different timelines in terms of their rebuild. Who you have more faith in? I don't know the Colts like I know the Lions, but I have, and that's another thing. That's probably why I'm as calm as I am in terms of them not doing anything, because I actually believe that we have the people in there that understand what they have, what they believe. I believe in what they believe it's going to develop into, and that when and if and or when they feel like it's not working, I don't think they're going to force that square peg into a round hole. I think they're going to address it, and they're going to address it urgently and immediately. But I don't think they feel that currently. I don't think they feel that. Dan Campbell said, and I'm glad he said this because it needed to be said, that's the worst game we've played in a long time. And he's right. Fundamental things. Sometimes blocking and tackling are the most fundamental things. We know the Cincinnati Bengals can't do it. Two guys whiffing on Colston Loveland, speaking of Michigan. They tackle him. What happens? You still got a chance to win. Simple tackle. Can't make it. Didn't make it. So a lot of times it comes down to the basic, to the fundamentals, and I'm trusting all in and have been all in since they were hired because I followed both before they got there. I knew all about Brad Holmes under Les Snead, all about him. I knew about his impact with Aaron Donald, Jared Goff, Michael Brockers, all of those guys, even Jalen Ramsey. We're in good hands. I promise you, we're in good hands. Everybody step back, take a freaking breath. And another thing before I close out, and I saw this and I agree with it. I saw this on X past my screen yesterday, I think it was, when Dan Campbell pulled away the play calling duties from Anthony Lynn in basically year one. This is so important that I want to leave this impression on you guys. The scheme and the offensive ingenuity and genius to the Detroit Lions is not Ben Johnson. It's not John Morton. It's Dan Campbell. Never, ever forget that. He laid the foundation. He talked to them about precisely what he wanted, how he wanted it, and then he gave them some latitude to, sprinkle in some things. I don't believe that the Lions are where they are at 5-3 because of an offensive game plan. I believe the Lions are where they are at 5-3 because of a lack of continuity on the offensive line and the inability to consistently protect both in the running and passing game. If you clean that up, injuries are injuries. They're going to happen. They're built to, and they're engineered and built to withstand these types of things better than most. It isn't like, oh my God, the cupboard's bare and we have no shot. And I think last year proved that. It's not a mirage. It's not fake. What you saw last year is real. They'll do the same thing. Your prize free agent basically plays, I don't know, what he played, 3 games? 2 games? He's out. Arnold's out. Branch suspended. Amik Robinson, he's dinged up. He's in. He's out. Kirby Joseph, he's in. He's out. No team better designed to handle this. It's like sometimes you feel like they have depth for days. And look at, not this week, not Minnesota, the week prior, everybody about Nick Whiteside, everybody about their backup. Oh my God, this guy could actually be something. But then they lose to Minnesota and everybody's like, we have no depth. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. It's like pick one, for crying out loud. Pick one and stay. A lot of people comment about what they don't like about me. I get all kinds of that. And what they do like about me, and they say they like my conviction. They like how I decide with something and I stay with it. Can you freaking decide what you want and stay with it? You can't change every day. Oh, they have great backups, and look at how these guys stepped up, and they held so-and-so to 9 points. Oh, you know what? Next week, yeah, I was wrong. Change it out. Go get Sauce Gardner. I mean, I'm breathing deep because this drives me crazy. It's like I don't know what it is. Paranoid. It's like impatient. It's like this mixture of holy shit moment, and let's just freak out and not even look and realize what we're actually doing, what we actually have, what the plan is. Just chuck it. Just go get a couple of free agents because that's automatic. You want to talk about whether it was Schlereth or whether it was somebody else, whoever said it, that half of the first round picks are busts. Well, free agency doesn't always work out. I would submit that free agency works a lot less than the draft does. New system, new culture, moving a family, new everything. It is not an automatic guarantee. It's not, especially if you're doing a lot of it. You need to hit on a lot of guys. Well, you obviously did something wrong. If you're the Dallas Cowboys and trying to go get 2, 3, 4 guys on trade deadline day, what does that tell you? Does that not speak volumes to you? Not what the Jets did, because we understand, or we should, everybody should understand what they're doing. 1-7, nowhere, going nowhere, have no quarterback. But now you are lined up with the assets that you need to go get who you want. And there's some pretty attractive quarterbacks coming out in the next year or two. That's obvious. That was necessary. But if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're 3-5-1, you're looking at an owner who's desperate, who wants to get back there before he passes on. I think that's what you're seeing. And he's doing it at all costs. And he's going to say, here you go, Steven. Here's what I left you, his son. Here's what I left you. That's not how you run an NFL franchise. Sorry. It's just not how you run a business. Let alone what is it, $10 billion? I could be wrong. And I'm sure I'll hear it. But I stand firmly on this side of the fence that it's not how you do it. And I think that the proof is there. It's basically in all sports. It's like the Tigers. Oh, yeah, we're going to go get Bregman. That's going to get us over the top. You don't know that. You don't know that. Did you forget you need 3 arms? It's crazy. It's that, oh, man, look at what we did. I think it's intoxicating. It's like, yeah, we did that, so we're going to get it now. The ring is ours. We're somehow going to beat the Dodgers. We're somehow going to beat somebody in our own freaking league to get to go against the Dodgers. Like, we're going to beat the Blue Jays now. I don't know. But everybody needs to just take a breath, freaking relax. Now, final thought. They go lose to the Commanders this week, you will hear a very different tone from a very different angle. And you will start to hear panic in my voice if that was to happen. I don't think it's going to. I think you rally the troops and you go destroy that team and you don't let up. And you're trying. You're going in trying for a 40-piece. They're beat up. They're depleted. They're pissed at their coach because he left Jaden Daniels in and dislocated his elbow. And who knows how long that's going to be, or arm or elbow, whatever it is. And they got injuries all over. And you got Marcus Mariota at quarterback. And you got fat boy Deebo Samuel. You're an NFL wide receiver. Sorry, NFL Freshella. You have him as a number 1. Lucky to be a number 3. Go get your ass in shape and act like an NFL football player. Like, seriously. They went and brought you in to do some major things, and you're largely absent, and you can't move. You literally waddle on the field now. How is that even okay? I have no idea. Again, right guy, right fit, right price. How you feeling, Commanders? The guy you just went and got, he's way out of shape. Get your ass in shape, dude. No excuse. Sorry. But you go lose to the Commanders, you're going to see me. I'll probably come on Sunday night. And I'll be breaking shit. Here, I'll tell you right now, I will bring things on this camera and start breaking them in my hands. That ought to be funny. And I might get a couple delicate things just to freaking break some shit. Put some gloves on so I don't cut myself or whatever. That would be horrific. And that would be old Lions-like. That would be the SOL. Going to put up a 40-piece. It's in their building. I get it. They're desperate. I get it. I do believe Dan Quinn is a good coach. I get it. I am a huge Jaden Daniels guy, but he ain't playing. And John Riggins and the ghost of John Riggins, Doug Williams, they're not coming back. So you better go out and put a 40 piece and win by 2 scores, because you're a much better team than they are right now with all those injuries. Go handle your business and put everybody back to relaxing, including your own team. That's what needs to happen. Get to 6-3 where you need to be. It's kind of a midseason reset off a game you looked horrible. And the Lions don't typically, under the new administration, they don't look horrible, except for the first 2 years. The last 3 years, they don't look horrible 2 weeks in a row. That was horrible this past week. I admit. Couldn't protect. Everybody knows Brian Flores is a blitz scheme genius. He didn't get there in the first game. Boy, they made some adjustments and we had no answer. All right, so we'll wrap it there. Just everybody take a breath, relax, stay the course. No reason to panic yet. I think they know what they're doing. Until I feel otherwise, I'm staying with this course. And I told you what could make me feel alarmed, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they handle their business. All right, everybody, have a great Wednesday. Feel better. Take a breath. We're many, many teams of the 32 would rather be where we are than where they are. And we can't lose sight of that. All right. I want to win too. I want a Super Bowl appearance and victory. I think we're still where we need to be. I still hold true. Kansas City from the AFC, Lions from the NFC, and Super Bowl 60. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.